Hello, thank you for your attention today. We will be talking about the new space reservation software. To my library staff, to my board of trustees, and to the library patrons of Elk Grove Village Public Library, this is for you. Now, this is what we're going to be going over today. First, we will define the problem in the library currently. We will discuss the project plan, the types of users and security, the system specification and requirements. We're going to go into the process model, the data model, and the online user interface, as well as the system architecture and how we will evaluate the current software. Defining the problem. So through the use of patron satisfaction surveys, the patrons have expressed that they want a new reservation software where they can book their own rooms. The problem with this is, currently, staff members can only book rooms for patrons. Current software does not allow patrons to book their own rooms. Now, the project plan. The IT department and systems analyst will conduct a conduct plan. The staff interface must be built and a patron interface must be built. A list of requirements must be defined, and we estimate this will begin in a 5-day interval. Now, what we will also do is come up with a process model, which will also be a 7-day estimation. To design the project and come up with a data design, we will believe that a 7-day estimation is vital. Programming is one of the most important aspects of this project. Since this is a web browsing feature and interface, as well as mobile, we estimate that this is going to take a 60-day estimation. Not to mention the user interfaces. This is also included in the programming stage, which will begin with a 60-day interval in order to make our user interfaces for both staff, patrons, and our administrators. Likewise, the other important aspect of our data plan and project is security. There are different types of security measures we will take in order to allow users to do specific things in the software. We will also hold an in-service staff training day to kind of go over the new software, as well as have a seminar and training. We will conduct then a trial period and execution day. After a 14-day trial period, reports will be given to the board of directors during the next board meeting. This is a Gantt chart expressing how long and showing you what we're going to be doing and how long it's going to take us to do it. Now, the types of system users and security. To my right is a security matrix. The security matrix, as explained, gives full user support for IT maintenance. IT maintenance manage the system, they run reports, they can make, delete, and edit reservations. Staff can make, edit, and delete reservations. Patrons can just make reservations. The board of directors, unfortunately, can just read reservations and reports. So the server that's going to be used to implement and house this new software is a Windows 2012 server, which will be monitored by Microsoft Endpoint Protection 2012. Internet browsers in-house will use firewalls that require an SSL certificate. Staff passwords are very tricky. However, passwords must be expired every 9 days, and staff are allowed to change their passwords then. This gives you an 8 to 10 character long password, 1 uppercase letter, 1 symbol, and 1 number. Passwords may not be used more than once. Patrons' login information is kept offsite in the library's ILS, which is the Horizon Blue Cloud server. Patrons must log in with the library card number and 4-digit PIN number associated with their library accounts, which, by the way, is their last 4 digits of their phone number. Now, the system specification and requirements. Staff and IT maintenance can make reservations, manage the system, delete, edit, and run reports. Staff must log into the website URL provided by the staff IT maintenance department. By doing so, the system will ask what their username and password is. The website menu will contain buttons such as Manage, Reserve, Reports, and Sign Out. Staff can manage in the reservation calendar and may delete reservations or extend time. To reserve, the calendar will open, similar to a patron view. A space can be chosen and reserved based on availability. Reports can only be ran by the IT maintenance department. The IT maintenance department can select what spaces were booked, for how long, the duration, etc., and generate reports based on user statistics. Now, system specification requirements, we're going to continue on, showing that what the patrons have. Now, the patrons must have a valid library card. The library's ILS will be able to tell the system if the patron is in good standing, meaning the patron doesn't owe money, the patron doesn't have any other sorts of fines, or their card isn't expired. The library website will contain a button URL to the space reservation software. To reserve the computer or mobile device, patron will log in with a library card number and 4-digit PIN number. The system will also validate the patron's record. The reservation calendar will appear. Patron must select the space they want to reserve, time, and day. The system will fill in the patron's information based on the info in the library's ILS. The patrons must confirm the reservation, and the patrons likewise have an option to have an emailed or printed reservation confirmation. Now, the system will also make a reservation in accordance to the library policy. For a process model, the following flowcharts with an explanation will conclude what the system does, the order of actions, functions, and how it works. Flowcharts include the patron, staff, and IT maintenance, management, and reports model. Now, the process model for a patron is very easy. The system validates the patron's library card. If validated, the patron will be directed to the calendar. If an unsuccessful login happens, the system will ask the patron to log in again. Once the system has logged the patron in and the calendar appears, the patron will select the time, the space, and the day they want to reserve. If the reservation is correct, the patron confirms the reservation. System stores then in a reservation database the current reservation the patron made. The system will ask if a patron wants an email or printed confirmation. Confirmation, if emailed or printed, the system will ask the patron to return to the library homepage. If a library homepage is chosen, the system automatically will redirect the patron. The patron may also not choose to do anything, which in case the system will log them out. For staff, it's a bit different. The staff opens a URL from the PC or Mac that they're working on. The staff will log in with a unique username and password. If successful, the staff will be directed to the calendar. If unsuccessful, the system will ask the patron, staff member, will have to log in again. Now, buttons. If the staff wants to reserve, they will see a few buttons on the page. They will get an option for reserve, to manage, or delete reservations. If the reservation is selected, staff will follow the same process as patrons follow in order to make one. If manage or delete option is chosen, the staff is redirected to a calendar with reservations already made. The staff must check or uncheck the reservation in order to delete it or edit it, or even add time. Once checked or unchecked, staff may delete, edit, or make the change. The system, based on this selection, will update the changes in the reservation data. For the IT staff, it's a bit different, but very similar. The only difference that we're going to discuss is really the reports module. For the reports, the staff IT maintenance must select the date, the day, and the year chosen. The system will extract statistics from the reservation database. The extracted data will appear on the screen, and the user must select whether they want a printed report or a saved XLS file, which is an Excel-based file. Now, the data model. The data model is designed to help IT maintenance staff develop the requirements which is requested by the stakeholders. Entities. In the diagram are IT maintenance staff, patron, reservation, reservation calendar, and reports. Each entity has its own unique attribute. IT maintenance responsibilities include managing, creating, editing, and running reports. The relationship is the reservation calendar. The attributes are the IT maintenance ID and passwords. Staff's responsibilities include creating, managing, and editing reservations. The relationship is to the reservation calendar. Attributes are staff ID and password. Patrons. Their relationship as well is the reservation calendar. Attributes include the library card number, the patron name, patron phone number, and email address. The reservation calendar has a relationship to the spaces entity. These attributes include dates, times, and spaces. Spaces. The relationship to that is the reservation calendar. These attributes conclude to a 3D makerspace, group study room 1, 2, and 3, media center, and conference room. Reports only have one relationship and no attribute, and that relationship is IT maintenance, since they're the ones responsible for generating reports. This is the entity relationship diagram, displaying exactly what I talked about. Online models. Here included are a few wireframes. These were just drawn up and designed just so you can see exactly what we're going to have and what we're going to look at and be able to view while we're making these reservations. Now, the wireframes are very similar, but they look slightly different depending on the staff. This is the login page, which is very similar for both users. For the patrons, you must log in with a library card number and the 4-digit PIN number. Staff is a unique username and password. This is the reservation calendar. This will show you the available times, the spaces, the date, including a picture for each room selected. This is the staff view, of course, because it contains the manage, reserve, and delete buttons. This is the IT maintenance staff room, which contains the manage, reserve, delete, and reports button. The staff IT maintenance also have the option to make statistics for the reports for every month. Here you will see that the month, date, and year have to be chosen in order to generate a report. Systems architecture. Our system is going to have a 3-tier design. This includes a user interface, an application logic, and data access. The user access layer contains a user login, reservations, IT maintenance, and reports, whereas the data access layer contains the logins, reservation, IT maintenance, and reports databases. The application layer allows both areas to function and talk to one another. To evaluate our system and to see if it's working, because again, this is what the patrons wanted, a trial of the software will be implemented. The library will evaluate the software during this time by giving out patron satisfaction surveys. With the new patron satisfaction surveys, we are hoping that the patrons like the new system software, of course, and in the long run, the library is here to serve the patrons of the community. We are hoping that this new system will help free up staff time, not to mention give patrons the wants and needs that they have so sought after. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation today, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.